Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, welcome to stream.
Oh, my goodness. We are here.
We're here.
And we are on time. And that was planned the whole time, and it wasn't a worry at any point.
For any of us, at any point.
I was very secure in the knowledge that we would make it on time because there's only two of us to organize, so you'd think, man, that would be so easy to organize. So, nope, but we're here.
We're here, we made it, and it's chill. We're chill and not stressed.
Hello,
Hi,
Logan.
Logan.
How's it going?
Logan, did you make this little origami frog? Somebody made an origami frog.
Does it flip when you press the nose?
Maybe if it was like stronger paper.
We have weak paper in this household.
We need construction paper for this.
we have raised weak frogs.
Press the back. Oh, it does. Okay, that makes more sense.
That's so cute. Wait, you had to do it sideways so that the.
Oh, here.
Yeah. And be less white.
Oh, I can't help handle that.
Okay. It's so cute. Hello, Bessie.
Hi, Nebula.
How's it going? Are you cooking anything fun tonight?
What's for dinner, Nebula?
Yeah. What's for dinner?
Is it grapes? That's a Marcus frog.
That's a Marcus frog. Oh, he made it? Wow, I didn't realize Marcus
Marcus
was so
just
talented.
be doing things like all the
He's so
time.
talented. If anybody's looking for a man, Marcus is available.
Hey, not only that, he's a hell of one too.
And he's a hell of a man. He knows how to make an origami frog. Marcus is gonna hate us, by the way. Where he's gonna be like, I gotta notice that there's women looking.
There's
women
women banging my door down.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, no, but
I feel like if we were to do like what we did to Colby and just do a how to flirt on him, he would be like, I've been married for like 15 years.
You probably would say that.
Like there'll be some twist in the middle there.
Yeah. He'll probably be like, actually, I've been dating your mother.
You have to tell me this.
Be like, dang, okay. He really knows what's up around here. Marcus lives in Gainesville, by the way. So, just for all of you ladies out there, no, that's not why I said that. But he has to drive. All these people have to drive so far. So, it's a remarkable length of time for just driving per week.
Yeah.
We don't do this for, like, money.
Yeah, this is not for profit at this point.
It's really remarkable that he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. He's a good man. I appreciate Marcus. I appreciate you.
He can do it like up to twice a week at times.
Mm-hmm. Well, Logan drives from like Orlando.
Yeah, Logan's got everyone beat, frankly.
I wish you the best, Logan. I don't know. You should just like
egg noodles with mushroom sauce and a roasted chicken breast. Sounds
you are in the wrong
great.
genre, but that sounds phenomenal.
It talks to me. That's right, somewhere in the city of Orlando. In the massive city.
Yeah. Orlando's pretty big though.
Orlando's annoying because it's spread out so much. Like it's like there'll be like there's like the downtown area, right? But then there'll be the pocket that's UCF, that's its own little subculture. And then there's like the Milk District, which is its own little culture. There's like so many different little areas, but they don't have to be like boroughs.
What is the Milk District?
Okay. That does sound insane if you don't know. Okay, the Milk District is a section of Orlando that's a lot of like bars and restaurants and stuff, and it's like higher end ones. It's not like
it's not water. This is milk here.
It is
high quality beverages.
When you turn the tap on, milk comes out. I think it's because there are two different milk distribution centers there. And so for whatever reason in Orlando, I know TG Lee is in there. Huh. And I think there's another one. I could be totally wrong, but as far as I know, that's why it's called the Milk District. But it is like, there's a ton of very nice Sully and I were just at one on Sunday. It's called Alfie's or something like that. It was a cool, I can say because we were there and we'll never go back. But it was cool. It's like a bar that's themed like the 70s. So when you walk in.
So I missed a couple words in there, and
sure.
I thought you were you and Sully went to a milk distribution center, and I was like.
we hit up TG Lee. We wanted some of that chocolate milk right from the source.
I'm like,
no. There was a bar there called Alfie's that was all 70s themed. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all 70s themed. And it was themed really well. And it definitely was at some point a house that they just turned into a business. Cool. But they did not play 70s music at all. And they had a huge wall of vinyls, like that they could play, and they had a DJ there actively playing on the records. Does not take requests. They do not play 70s music. They just play regular, like a bar club music.
Did you ask him? How do you know he didn't take requests?
Because one of the girls we were with, she was like, I asked him and he firmly said no. So I was like, okay, weird. But they had like a wall that was just like fur. It was just all like fake fur on a wall.
Do you think they vacuum it?
I hope so. It was on the way to the bathroom. So,
I bet everybody drags their hand across that.
If your hands are still wet, you can very easily just rub it down.
Did you do that?
No, because as I was leaving the bathroom, I realized I think this is the women's bathroom, so I kind of just quickly went because because it was a weird hallway, and then on the side, hi Link, on the side there was it's a door frame, and then stapled on the wall next to the fur. It, like, very hard to see was the sign that just said women's, and then I did see as I was washing my hands a pair of women's glasses there, and I was like, this adds up. I gotta go, actually.
Yeah. I am gonna leave immediately.
I'm not welcome here anymore.
Yeah. Tomorrow will be blueberry pepper jelly glazed, oh my gosh, pork chops, garlic rice, and green vegetable, maybe homemade chocolate chip cookies.
A few days ago, I just put raw chicken breast on the stove and just put random spices on it, and I went, I hope that works, and then I ate undercooked brown rice.
So a few days ago, I was looking for a snack, and I have 0 food in my house. And I was like, you know what sounds really good is the ramen packets.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to cook these. So I just broke up all the ramen, put the ramen packet in it, and then ate it like chips.
The waiting 5 minutes for it to boil or put it in the microwave was too much.
Well, I wasn't looking for a meal. I was looking for a snack.
Something to crunch on.
And I was like, this will work. And it's like kind of salty. You know, people have been getting after me about that I drink very little water. Guys, are we bad at cooking? I hate to say it, I am really bad at cooking. And it's funny because I host a lot. So, like, I just order in a lot of food because I feel bad. Every time I cook something, I'm like, oof, good thing my guests are very polite. Because that did not come out well. I have had to take food away from people after I cooked it. And then I started eating it, and I was like, no, oh wow, that's
Don't
bad.
do that.
Like, that's bad. And I'll, like, go and steal their food back from them. Because I'm like, no, you might die. You might die.
I'm learning to get better at cooking. A few days ago, after the chicken breast, I had made homemade like hamburger helper, but I made it with like lean meat and like the protein noodles and stuff like that, and that turned out pretty good. And then I have a recipe. I haven't done it yet because I've been busy, and also I'm a little nervous. But I found a recipe for gyro bowls. So it's like chicken gyros. I just put it in the Instant Pot, let it cook, and then I can mix them up that way.
Yeah, you know what's really nice is that Sam's Club, you can get those pre-cooked meals at Sam's Club, and those are great. So I do, when I'm feeling particularly gumptious, I'll get a meal from Sam's Club, and it's lovely.
I have really terrible GI issues, so I have to cook a lot of my food. I have 2 surgeries this summer.
My gosh.
I hope those go well, but I'm glad you've learned a lot out of this, apparently. You've learned how to make a blueberry pepper chili glazed pork chops, which is a lot of words put together that I fear making on individually.
Yeah. But it sounds delicious.
It sounds so good.
That sounds so delicious. But honestly, yeah, I hope you have good, surgeries are always scary.
I've never had a surgery.
I've never had a surgery. I've never broken a bone.
Yeah,
I ride horses.
Which is really surprising for you, yeah.
I ended up having, when I was 16, I got thrown, a horse threw me over the shoulder, and I went chest first into a jump, and I cracked my collarbone, but it didn't break all the way.
It's fractured?
It was like, they call it a willow break? Because your bones are still pretty soft when you're, growing up. And so it just kind of broke, but it didn't break all the way through. And then they were like, well, we'll just leave it like that. What are we going to do about it? And so now one of my collarbones sticks, the more you know. One of my collarbones sticks out more than the other one. That's the extent of the issues.
I had a friend growing up who was, scared of collarbones. If you just acknowledge that you had a collarbone, she would, almost puke and then run away. She was just, scared, but, grossed out more than anything.
Why collarbones in particular?
No idea. So what people would do is they just walk up and just do this to her. Just touch her collarbone, and she would get livid for like 10 minutes and just freak out at them.
I don't know. I mean, I wonder if it's because there's a lot of bones that you can see under your skin. Like the protruding bones.
Most bones are under your skin.
Well, yeah, but like protruding bones. Like you have a ton of protruding bones, like your knuckles and like there's like a lot of things where you can like see the skeletal structure. So like I don't think it's that. Collarbones in particular are incredibly painful. If you use them all the time for everything, you would not believe how much you use your collarbone for. If you break your collarbone or bruise your collarbone, you're in for a rough time.
Oof.
I've had at least one
endoscopy.
Hey, every year for the last decade. Wow, that is incredible. Do you have a lot of? I don't want to get personal, but do you have a lot of scar tissue, or is that like?
Well, endoscopy and colonoscopy, I don't think would have. At least colonoscopy doesn't have.
I know
scar
nothing
tissue.
about these things.
Well, my dad had a colonoscopy, and then they found out he had cancer. So, but you're supposed to only get those like when you're like in your 50s.
Okay.
Getting those every year does not sound fun.
Does not sound fun
whatsoever.
Second point: getting old and going to the doctors. I don't want to do it.
Scared.
I don't want to do it.
Scared.
I don't want to do it. And this is probably way too much information, but I went to the OBGYN, whatever it is, for the first time when I ended up having like terrible, terrible cramps. And I was like, I'm going to go get birth control. And I went over to the OBGYN and I was like, do people do this?
They choose to do this?
Whoa! No. That's not happening. And I was like, okay, sweet, I'll see you next year. Never went back. They were like, oh, how often you're supposed to go every year? They were like, aren't you, you're like 30 years old now, so you'd better go do your stuff. And I'm like, no. No.
I'll pass.
Pass.
I fear my colonoscopy. It's now that I know that's a thing that is coming way down the line for me. I still like it is like now my white whale of like, oh God. And I just remembered the difference of it being my dad joking and be like, yeah, they're gonna put a camera up my butt. I have to eat all this stuff, and we're all laughing at him. And then like 2 days later, he's like, I have cancer and it's stage 3. And we were like, whoa!
You're like, well, I'm definitely not getting one of those.
The whiplash between like 2 days ago and now.
You're like, you know how much nicer everybody's lives would be if not only you didn't get that thing done, also we didn't know. But it's okay. I mean, these things you do. It is nice to know these things, I guess.
I have idiopathic. Got their gastroparesis. Sure. Chronic GERD damage. Sure. GERD. I'm sorry to laugh. It sounds bad. It's chronic and damage are 2 bad words for that. But it's a funny word. And lower gastric motility issues. Motility.
Those are all words, and I'm sure they're English.
At least some of them are based in the English language. I did my yearly checkup today. VA says I'm good. Also got COVID boosting number 4 after waiting like 19 months for them to stop having expired doses. I haven't gotten my booster in a while, I'll be honest. I have not either. I need to get it.
I'm going on a cruise in 2 weeks.
Exciting.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm pretty excited about it. Last time I went on a cruise was right after COVID things opened back up, and they were begging people to go back on cruises.
I remember that.
Begging people to go back on cruises. So we got it for incredibly cheap, and it was phenomenal. So we're gonna go back on another one, and I'll probably get super sick, but such is life.
Sully and I went on a cruise a couple months ago. She came back. She was sick for like 2 weeks, and then went home for the holidays, and then came back even more sick with like a new flu.
I do remember that.
There was a solid just month of Sully being just miserable.
Really sick. Yeah, that was a tough time. I don't really get very sick unless it's like neck issues. I've been having. We were just talking about this. I have a lot of neck issues from falling off horses. I did not break any bones, but the whiplash is not great for the whole neck joint.
Yeah. They don't love that.
They don't love that. They have new vests that are incredibly high tech. Well, I don't know how they're high tech for the horse world because we don't even have laptops.
Yeah.
So like
they
for
still use
us,
abacuses.
it's unreal. We don't use abacuses because we don't have paperwork. A lot of it is just like on handshake and...
You have a horse? Yes, I do. Excellent.
Passover. You could trade a horse for a boat, and people would be like, "It seems fair."
Adds up.
Adds up. Anyway, so now they have air vests that they made originally for motorcycles, where once the air vest, where the tag snaps off, you fall off the horse, the tag snaps off, and then the whole air vest puffs up.
Like
but
an
they're
airbag for your body.
Yeah, it's like an airbag for your body. And they're really good for motorcycles, and they're also very good for horses, except for that they're very loud. It makes a not like quite loud. So there's several things that can happen in this. If you accidentally pop the string, your horse will still have the same effect. Whether or not you mean to or not, it is still the same effect. The horse will be like, I'm out of here. And maybe not, but like, it's a risk. And they're very expensive, actually.
I imagine.
They're very expensive.
Are they one-time use? They sound like one-time use.
Well, they're like, it's like the cartridge is like $40, so it's not that expensive.
Still, I mean, after a while, it's going to add up a lot.
We had originally, when they were first coming out with these, the guy that I was training with, he was on one of our horses and he was going clean in some really big class. And he ended up jumping the jump, and the horse jumped really high, and he kind of got a little bit airborne on top over the jump, and it pulled the thing over the jump, and the horse landed and like hightailed it in the middle of like a pretty good class, and he fell off the back of the horse, and we have not worn hair vests because of that. But I also do a lot of emergency dismounts. Like if I feel things are sketchy, I'm out. I'm not gonna stick around and wait till things get sketchy.
Way better to be safe than sorry.
I'm out of here. I'm like super fast. If things start getting funky, I'm like, I'm leaving. You guys have fun over there. I'm not doing that.
You ain't winning that fight against the horse.
Absolutely not. I'm having cutting edge and medical technology used to treat my health issues, which is nice. Isn't it nice to live in the day and age that we live? I mean, this is the only reason why that's nice. But, like, seriously, it is nice. I think my sister would have, like, 40 years ago, probably long ago, maybe like 60 years ago, she would have died from having her appendix out. Yeah. Like, that is so recent. All this stuff is so recent.
You have to remember at some point in human history also, like, being old was, like, 32.
Yeah.
Like, that was old age for a long time.
Yeah. Our air vests are sponsored by athletes like Air Jordans. Not really.
I think Michael Jordan's missing out, though. I think they should be like pumps, like the shoes.
Yeah, they kind of are missing out on the. They don't really have much in the way of good sponsorship things. Like, they don't really understand how to get more people. I don't even know if they want more people in the sport, actually.
Yeah.
It's a very exclusive sport, and they kind of like to keep it that way.
There's a big pay gap to get into it.
So, like, most events that are sporting events are streamed so that families at home can watch this event, so that the event can be more popular, so that they can get more people into the sport. They have every streamed event in show jumping, you have to pay to watch. By its own thing. Like, you have to pay to watch each thing.
Yeah.
So they do not really want more people in the sport. If you get in, you have to fight your way in.
Yeah.
And good luck.
You have to be the right kind of person to get in there.
It's a time, that's for sure. I don't know. Anything that's... I don't know. I've had this is back to it. I have had remarkably few
injuries,
like serious injuries from horses.
That's good. Again, you versus a horse. You ain't winning that fight.
Yeah.
I don't have many injuries in general. I'm pretty. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily cautious, but I've not gotten in any situations where I could really break a bone. I live a pretty sedentary life. So it's a little hard for me to risk that.
I mean, but a lot of issues are like, I mean, there's plenty of things where you're just an idiot and then you go get really injured. But there's actually a ton of things where it's like, nothing you could have really done there.
Yeah.
I know, even with horses, it's like one of the girls the horse kicked her face. And it was just like, it just spun around and kicked her face. And she had to replace, like, she has a titanium plate all the way on this side of her face.
Oh, that sucks.
And I'm like, there's nothing really could do there. Like, I mean, don't get behind a horse, but That's kind of tough anyways.
Yeah. I had one broken bone in my left arm when I was 3 when my sister shoved me off her bed.
Yeah, well.
One time when I was little, my brother and I had bunk beds. And I was in like 1st grade, I want to say. So he was in like pre-K. And I was leaning over the edge of the top bunk to try to talk to him, and then it snapped, and I just fell face down to the ground, and I had huge like rug burn scabs like down my face, like right down the center of it. And I didn't go to school the next day because I was embarrassed.
Oh wow! Your parents let you not go to school?
My mom did after a lot of crying and screaming to be like, "Please don't! I don't want to explain what I did." I was just like,
you could have made up anything.
I was an honest little boy. I was an honest, sensitive little boy. I was not gonna lie to my friends.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember getting into like too many problems. My niece she had like steps out her back porch, and the girl was leaning on the glass door, and the glass door was latched. And so she did the same thing but on steps, and so she had this like big cut in the middle of her forehead. But I don't know if I think it was summer. I don't think they were in school at the time.
Do you want to hear a story about little me? From my mom's always, it's like more sweet than embarrassing, but I just think I didn't know this. Kiwi. I didn't know about this story. A little
fuzzball toddling around on his
not
two
ripe,
legs.
Not ripe kiwi. It was so in elementary school there was a girl. I don't want to say her name, but there was a girl that like had a crush on me, like in kindergarten. With a generic
name, would we or no?
It's a pretty distinct enough name that I don't want to.
I was like, if it's a Sarah.
No, it's not like a Sarah. It's not. I've only heard her with that name, so I'm not. I don't want to say the name.
That's surprising because like even my name, I've met several other Bryns.
Yeah, I've not met another Bryn.
Yeah, in my high school class, there were 2 other Bryns.
That's crazy.
I know.
I've only met male Sullys. Sully was the first woman Sully I've ever met.
I don't think I've ever met another Sully except for men.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Old men.
I've never met a female Sully or a young person with the name Sully until now.
Honestly, and every time I hear Sully, like I have it in my phone. This sounds bad because I've known her for a long time, but I have her in my phone as Sullivan Motors because like that was the only thing that I could remember.
Remind you.
And I was like, well, maybe I should change.
I have a bunch of people like friends named Andrew. So my brother-in-law, he's Andrew, so I put him as Andrew. Then parentheses my sister's name.
Oh no.
So Andrew's parentheses Sam's. It's like that's how I know which Andrew I'm talking to.
Okay, cute little fuzzy kiwi.
Right. Okay.
Around.
So we were in kindergarten. She had like a huge crush on me, to the point where like, and we had like they had Santa come in for kindergarten to ask what we wanted for Christmas, and then she said that all she wanted for Christmas was to marry me. It was very cute. I never hi Jade. So I probably had a crush on her at some point, but like I was just in my mind she was just my friend. So in like 4th grade-ish, we were friends, and like I would hang out with her and stuff, and we would go to extended day after. Because at this point, my parents divorced, and I couldn't go home alone because I was 9. So we're hanging out extended day, and I noticed that she started like not hanging out with me or talking to me as much, or I would like talk to her, and then she just wouldn't say anything, and then she would like go hang out with her friends. So there was one day after everyone left, because our parents both worked till like 5, so we couldn't. We would be the last ones there, and I went up to her and I was like, did I do something wrong? I was like, again, I was like 9 at this point. So I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, did I make you not like me? And she was like, no, my friends just teased me a lot because they just know that I had a crush on you, and I didn't want to keep getting teased. So then I go, okay, well, how about we can still be friends, but I'll only talk to you when everyone else leaves, and then it's just you and me can actually talk and be friends. And she was like, okay, we can do that. So I like, as like a 9-year-old, I found conflict resolution. It's like, just like, oh, do you still want to be friends with me? And she was like, okay. It was very funny.
Wow. I don't know if any of my stories, I was like the leader of a gang.
You owe Bryn money.
Yeah, so like,
and your kneecaps are about to pay up.
I was like like the leader of a gang, and I didn't go to school after 9th grade. But all of the times before that,
because you were expelled from every other school.
Yeah, no. And they didn't want me. They thought I was a bad influence on everybody. No, I just did online school and went into horses. But before that, I was just like, we would just go on like adventures and like go do things. I would just like have an idea. I was like, well, we should go down to the soccer field or whatever. And I just have a gang. And we would just go do whatever I felt like doing that day. And I was like, sweet, this is great.
Conqueror's hockey.
So anyways,
you just imposed your will on other people.
So this is how UGT started. I was like, AJ, Nick, let's do a thing.
I have an idea, and we're gonna do it.
I have an idea, and we're gonna do the thing. But I don't know if any of my stories. I was kind of a jock. A little bit growing up.
That's funny.
I was like super buff. I did vaulting, which is gymnastics on horseback.
Yeah.
And you have to be so fit for that.
Yeah.
So I had like an 8-pack. I was like jacked. As like a 9-year-old. So
I was shredded.
Yeah, I was shredded. I really was. Like there's pictures of me and I could go and do like, I don't know, CrossFit and keep up. Like it was crazy. It was a great time.
All I did was I had like my core group of friends I would hang out with. I suppose most of the people in my like class at that point, but it would be at my shoulders were ripped. Handstand push-ups at 10 is insane.
That was me too. Man, we would have been best friends. Are you kidding me?
I struggled to do the mile run.
I could not run that long distance. Long distance was not my thing.
I think I've done 5 pull-ups my entire life.
I could probably do 10 pull-ups right now.
Oh,
I bet.
Let's not put it to the test. I have some dignity still.
We could do a workout show.
Oh God!
It would be the
do a stream where we just have like the green screen behind us, and we're like have sweatpants on.
We could have no. We would also need the ambulance here because like
just at the ready.
First of all, I go really hard, and then we have all these like. I don't think this has happened several times. Where I'll be like, let's go do something super active, like going to the gym. What is it called? The trampoline parks?
Yes.
I love the trampoline parks.
Still,
and I'll recruit the gaming guys.
I still remember you that texting.
I'm like, let's go. Let's go to the trampoline park. It's great. And I'll get all these guys, and they probably have like walked upstairs recently. I don't know, maybe.
It was that text you okay. Bryn texted at like 10 o'clock that night and it was like, do you want to go to a trampoline park? And I was like, I mean, sure, I guess. And then she was like, all right, we're gonna go tomorrow. And I was like, whoa. This is like 8-hour notice. I was like, I've got things to do tomorrow. She went, you missed out. Yeah. Then half of UGT went to a trampoline park.
Yeah, this is literally the gang. I'm telling you, this is how I started the gang. But anyway, so we went to the trampoline park, and I was legitimately very concerned several times where there'd be like blue lips. Some of the members had like white and blue lips that were like, I'm fine. And I'm like, you don't look fine.
Drink some water.
I'm like, maybe we should sit down for a minute. They're like, no, we're okay. And I was like, oh my goodness.
just eat a Cliff Bar.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, who is the most active of our crew here? Besides you, you're the if we're doing a median, you're the outlier. Like you throw off the skew too much.
I don't count. It is my job, so like I don't work out. I also don't go to gyms. I just happen to have a really active job, so I do not get the credit or the self-discipline of like workout junkies, because like that is you got to be real disciplined for that, and that's not me. But I just have a really
flip-flop back and forth.
It's tough.
I have the worst at like I'll go forever, then I go for like 2 weeks, and then I'm done for a month and a half.
The discipline to go work out is so difficult. Like I've tried before just to like be supportive, and I'm very active, and I'm like, I don't want to go. I would rather go to a trampoline park and just have a blast jumping around. If they were less expensive, I would go. I would do that. But going to a gym and just being miserable for it just feels like the whole time I'm focusing on how painful and how many do I have left.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm on a trampoline park, I'm like, let's go over there, let's go over here, let's go do this.
There's like distracting things that are fun.
I'm like, I want to keep up and I want to go do the next thing. So I'm like, my knees will be fine. I'm like, I can't bounce anymore, but I want to go get that bouncy ball. Let's go get it.
I honestly think I would work out more if I had a private, like, at-home gym I could use. Because, like, the things I hate more when I go to the gym are my machines being used or whatever I need to use is being used. And just generally the drive there. Because the whole time I'm like, I just want to be there and get it done with. Like, I don't want to be doing anything else. I just want to get this over with.
The trampoline park is kind of mankind's
hubris.
That is very true.
Our hubris.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And the next day, I feel it. I'm like, I had to be a little bit careful when I take, like, clients from the horse riding industry. I had to pick which days we go, because I'll look at the next day, I'm like, okay, let's go ride. And they're like, I can't move. Sorry. I'm like, okay, well, that was not the smartest idea I've ever had.
I work out in my house. I'm not a go to the gym kind of gal. I want to be sweaty and gross in the privacy of my own house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like working out. Once I get in the groove of it, I really like working out. But it's so hard to, like, start that habit. Yeah. Sully gets mad at me because I say I go and then I won't go. Yeah. Like, very often.
But do you like active things? Like, if we were to start pickleball, or like trampoline parks or stuff.
I would probably there's some. I used to play tennis for a long time, so I would probably
great. That's
I'd probably
active.
like pickleball. I like tennis, and that's very fun. I like hiking a lot.
Oh yeah.
If there were more, the two factors of Florida. And I always say this, but it's Florida is just always gross and humid, it's not fun to walk around outside. And there's no scenery here. It is just flat swamplands. Yeah. So, but it's like when I've gone on vacation in, like, Blue Ridge, Georgia, loved it because there's mountains and it's beautiful scenery. Or like when I've gone to Tennessee is gorgeous for hiking because there's so many trails that just lead to, like, wow, that's just a waterfall just kind of casually there. That's awesome. Like I love hiking and stuff, but there's nothing here.
And it's like it's part of the problem where it's like in Florida, I have an active job outside, and people are like, oh, are you a super active person? Let's go do outdoor things. And I'm like, no, I want to go back to the air conditioning. Because, like, it's gross outside. It is really gross.
If it wasn't 90% humidity constantly, I would be fine. Like, even the heat, it's like a dry heat is so fine, but it's so gross. Yeah. I don't know what Sully's implying. I've been trying to figure out what Sully's. I don't know what I said that initiated a.
Say what you mean, bro.
I don't know what I meant. I meant everything I said.
Did that like trigger any? I tried to say it in the way that Sully might have, but to trigger.
No, I didn't. No, okay. I just got as confused as I did.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, he said that you'll go to the gym and then don't.
Well, that's what he said.
I said I'm lost. I would love to yes and you. I'm really working here. I don't know what I said. What I'm leaving out.
Eastern Tennessee is phenomenal. So the weather is phenomenal. So I want to move. If I ever had to move somewhere, Franklin, Tennessee is one of my top ones because it's great horse country. First of all, so I have a good job. But it is lovely there. The general temperature and everything is really, really lovely. And then it is beautiful.
It's so
it's really beautiful.
Tennessee is so pretty.
It's lovely.
Chattanooga, I love Chattanooga a lot. I've been to Chattanooga a bunch. It's so cool there.
It's a great place. Honestly, Tennessee is they really got it on. And the people are very nice there too.
Yes.
Which I like. I approve that a lot.
I said Silly doesn't like it and I meant that I don't like it when I say I'm gonna go to the gym, but then don't. That's what I was saying, because I do that a lot. But I recently, I'm gonna cancel my gym membership and stop lying to myself and just go on more walks.
We should go do something fun though.
Sure. Like
we should do, because I have like pickleball pedals, and like we could play tennis. Like I'm sure there's like inside indoor places things. Because I actually love doing that stuff. I am active. Like, I do like doing these things. I just want to find them inside.
There's a part of me that does miss tennis, but it would be such a learning curve to get back into it. I don't really know anyone who plays tennis anymore. Have you played tennis?
No, but I can figure it out.
Okay.
That's my attitude for everything. I went to college in Maryville, Tennessee. Small quaint town. Yeah, no, I totally get it. It really is, okay, so Sully, first of all, Sully's not here. Apparently,
We
Sully...
can say cuss words.
Whoa, yeah, I know. Sully used to bully other girls in basketball. That's what I heard.
Did.
She told me to my face. You all think Sully's so cute and nice. She made them cry. That is what she told me. Word for word.
She learned her first cuss words on the court. And she learned how to properly use them too.
She was out there muscling her way around, intimidating other players, and they didn't even want to play anymore because she was so scary.
One time, Sully tripped a kid, and the coach called foul on her, and she untied shoes. A foul? I didn't know that. I thought this was America.
Oh my goodness. Sully.
She said the Lord's name in vain at Baptist basketball.
Wow. Sully, you're really, I mean, everybody, she has this persona of being cute. And then there's a reason that what is it, in Godzilla, there's this small monkey that is aggressive as heck. And I'm like, that's Sully right there.
I need to remember this monkey's name. He has a name, and I don't
It's
remember
like a small red-headed monkey that's like really tiny and cute and adorable, and it like walks up to you with these stars in its eyes and like, look at how cute, I'm in need of help. And then it goes and it like smashes everything.
What's his name? No, not Skull King.
She is, yeah. If I am a little worried to play basketball with Sully because I hear she is a bit
Suko.
aggressive.
His name is Suko.
Oh.
I don't know who named him that.
Very close to Zuko.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, is one of my favorite character arcs. Was the Zuko character. I mean, the Avatar Airbender show in general is like one of my favorite shows.
Two things. They announced, first of all, Magic cards. They're doing a Magic tie-in at the end of this year. And I'm excited. I think Sully said it first, and I said no, but I think she's probably right, which is unfortunate. I think they're gonna do Aang. He's gonna have 4 of the 5 colors, so he's the master of all 4 elements. I think he should just be all 5. But
what are the elements? Or what are
so the colors are red, white, blue, green, black.
Okay, so he doesn't have black.
Yeah, he wouldn't be black. He'd be all 4
but
of those.
that makes sense, right? That makes sense.
I think he should be all 5 just because he's the master of all the elements. But
yeah, but like he's the master of all the elements in the show,
right?
Like,
and then it'd be like Lord, like it'd be like
know...
it'd be the Emperor of the Fire Nation would be black and red because he's evil.
Oh, okay.
I said she's right. I'm not besmirching. I said she's right. But secondly, when they announced that, they were like, for the 20th anniversary of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I was like, we didn't need to say 20th anniversary.
Yeah,
I was like, that was brutal to hear. Yeah. I was like, I know I'm still young, but I do remember new episodes coming out of that show.
That was my life. That was my life. And for when I moved to Tennessee, I moved after 9th grade. I moved to Tennessee to be like a real horse rider.
A real horse girl.
And I rode from like 5:30 to 6 in the morning, and then I rode until like 6 o'clock in the evening. And then that's when Avatar Airbender came out. And I would like run inside to go and watch the newest episode of Avatar Airbender, and then I would do tutoring from 7 to 9, and then I'd start again.
So you had a 30-minute fun break in the middle there.
That was my
and
life.
Then right back.
It saved my teenage years. That was Avatar Airbender right there.
I love that. I don't know.
So good.
The fun fact I always love about that show is that it won a Pulitzer Prize for its depiction of war. And the effects it has on people. And the fact that a children's show was able to do that with no blood and no on-screen death is crazy. Now there's the implied death, but there's never you never see somebody die on screen.
Right. Well, and they really do. If you don't know about Avatar Airbender, by the way, too bad. It's a great show. You should watch it.
Don't know how you went this long.
Yeah.
And if you're on this channel, I don't know how you went this long without it.
Yeah, it is really, really phenomenal. It ends up being, I think, Zuko's story, as a villain.
Yeah, his
in that
redemption
show.
arc.
His arc, like his basically character arc throughout the show is phenomenal. I mean, but everybody's is. Like, even
Katara is so good to see.
But even like Azula
Yeah.
Like even that, like you end up getting like an incredible story.
Uncle Iroh, like
Uncle
Iroh.
He is actually my favorite, and then My Cabbages is also the
My
best.
Cabbages.
My Cabbages.
They did a
Hello, George.
They did a Fortnite Avatar tie-in, which is funny to see Aang holding like a AK-47.
Nice.
But they had in the game a bunch of cabbage stands all over the place that you could go and break the kid stuff out of.
Did they have the audio of it or no?
No, but it was an achievement you could get for breaking like a certain number of them. It would just be my cabbages, and I think you can get. I think there's like an emote where you can show them off, like his cabbages off.
Nice.
But yeah, that show. That show is so tightly written because they had the entire thing like storyboarded before it even got greenlit at Nickelodeon.
Oh, neat.
Like I think the only things they changed, I think they cut like a minor arc, and then they changed Katara's name from I forget what it was before, but it was like days before they went into to final production. They changed it for one reason.
I think the only thing I'm sure I could find other things I didn't like about the show, but the only thing that I can remember not liking about the show is that it was like we went to the northern water tribe.
Yep.
And they were like, it was like represented as, or like it was presented as this like really massive city that works really well and like all this stuff. And they have these incredibly powerful, the master of waterbending is up there, is incredibly powerful. And then the chief of the tribe is like, my daughter needs protection, and some idiot from the southern water tribe that has no waterbending, who has no skills, so to speak, he's like, you can do that. Yeah. And I'm like, out of everyone, I mean, excuse me, that seems like a really large.
But even with that, Sokka's story himself is so watching him go from the dumb teenage boy to like,
and then they were like, that's not how it works, Sokka. You can't yell it on the way
But
out.
like to him being an actual like leader by the end of it, like it's like every character arc is so tightly made. It's so good.
And he didn't need like I really do. They did a great job of like the bending powers isn't everything. Because Sokka did not, and he was a really contributing member of like the thing, but like just being a strong guy was not the end all of everything.
I didn't ever finish Legend of Korra. Halfway through season 2, it gets weird. I remember. I never finished season 1 because I found out the villain for season 1 is not the main villain of the series, and each season has a different villain. And I was like, I like this guy so much, I really don't want to watch anything he's not in. So I stopped watching. Helps that Steve Bloom is my favorite just voice actor, but I was like, he's such a cool villain with such an interesting motive that I was like, this is so cool. I don't like it. Feels weird to just cut him off. Like at that point. Thank you, Soli.
I'm hydrated with a Coke.
I've got water.
He's drinking the water for me.
The best thing about Korra is the villains. Again, I've only saw the first one. He was super cool. Did you watch Korra at all?
I did not. So the problem is that I have been scarred for life. Honestly, scarred for life. Because of watching shows like, no. In the industry as a whole.
Okay.
In like entertainment industry as a whole. I'm like, Fast and Furious 1, oh my gosh.
Best movie ever
so
made.
Cool.
Pure cinema.
This is so awesome.
Pure
Fast
cinema.
and Furious 2, I'm like, this is incredible. Fast and Furious 3, I'm like, wow. When that Fast and Furious 4, I'm like, okay. And then 5, I'm like.
And now we're at 9.
Yeah, and I'm like, 6. 7, I just don't go watch, and then apparently there's 9. So like I have had movies and series where I go to watch the sequel and it will ruin,
like retroactively
ruin my love for the first one. And I love Avatar Airbender so much that I'm not willing to risk that. I have heard that Korra is very good, but I don't care. I'm not going to watch it.
Honestly, you're fair because Korra's so divisive among the Avatar fans. My issue with it also was like
Tokyo Drift is so good.
Tokyo Drift is fun.
So good.
So do you know?
I can't believe that one guy died. I cried. I cried so hard. And I'm not a crier either.
You know how in the original Avatar series, it is like pseudo medieval times. Like it is like there's no like technology. It's all powered through bending. Korra is like post-industrial revolution. There are I almost said Zambonis. I forget what the name of the blimps are, but there's like the massive blimps. It's like steampunk kind of stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
And there's such a lot, and that's she's the next Avatar right after Aang.
Right.
So it's like there's a lot of progression that happened in the world.
Yeah.
So fast. Felt weird. The new series, they announced a third series. Did you hear about this? So they announced a third series. And the premise sounds really cool. I hope it's good. Because I think the original Avatar... The other thing with Korra was it was not all of the original Avatar crew that made it. It was like part of them. Yeah, and then the other part went off to make the Dragon Prince, which I heard is good.
Okay.
But the new series is supposed to be the Avatar after Korra. And it's two twins. And it's one of the twins is the Avatar. But being the Avatar now... So if you're the Avatar, that means that you bring upon the end of times. Like, it is a bad thing to be the Avatar now. So it's like her becoming the Avatar and learning to hide it. Which sounds super cool. I hope it's good. I hope it's like post-apocalyptic. That'd be fun.
So what I kind of like about the Avatar series is that it is just a known thing that's throughout the universe, and it's not like it's just some people have it and some people don't.
Yeah. And
it's not like the central, like the whole series is about the characters, and it's not about whether or not they have. I mean, Sokka does go through like how can I be useful, but it is not. The series is not about whether or not they have cool powers. It's like how they develop as characters. So I ended up seeing the next one where it was like the powers are like you're kind of shunned if you have powers, and I'm like, I don't want that to be the focus.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the focus of a thing. It's like how powerful you are or how powerful you aren't does not really say much about your character. I don't like it being the focus.
Yeah.
I just don't like it being the focus.
The first one really nailed that as their powers grew, they grew as characters as well. Like the where they were at with their bending abilities showed where they were at emotionally and mature wise. And
it was not like the main premise of the show.
Right. With Korra, the first villain, spoilers I guess for it's the first episode, but the main villain, what it is if you don't have powers, then you're shunned. You're like lesser than if you don't have powers. So the main villain, this masked dude who has the ability to take away people's bending permanently. So he's like targeting like the most influential and powerful benders and taking their abilities away, which is like super cool. He's like a weird like Robin Hood terrorist. Like it's like that's super cool. But his motives are just his motives are cool, but it's like his ideas are cool, but he's just doing super villainy things because we need a super villain. So it was kind of a little weaker.
There's quite a few shows that I like the premise and I like the show, but you're treated like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I have to explain so much to you, and I'm like, yes, I know. You already told us.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to re-explain everything. So that I get really annoyed very easily on shows where they'll like re-explain nonsense for like no reason.
Yeah.
So I do like that they treated you as like a person who can think, can like I don't know.
It's been a lot of the best children's. That's why people loved Pixar movies and stuff.
Right.
It's because like it did not hold your hand the entire time. Right. These toys talk. Okay, we all understand that.
Yeah.
Or like even the first Spider-Verse movie. Like it didn't. We all know Spider-Man. Yeah. Like we don't have to handhold our way through Spider-Man. It's just like here's 5 of them. Awesome.
Yeah. It is pretty remarkable how much that happens. For like, well, and what's really annoying is it happens a lot in mysteries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the whole point of the movie is that it's a mystery and that you're supposed to pay attention. So if you're not paying attention, joke's on you, idiot, you missed it. And that's okay. Because like, you should have been paying attention. Yeah. I'm okay with like the recap. So have you ever seen The Illusionist?
No.
It's quite good. But they do have like a recap at the end, kind of connecting the dots, like a little bit Sherlock Holmesy, and it's still pretty good.
The series, first of all, Jaded, shout out to Gargoyles. I have not seen much of it, but it is a banger show. It has it's a kid's show that was on like Fox, like WB or something like that. And there's a guy who just gets shot on screen. Oh. It's like, whoa, that's an intense episode.
I've never heard of it.
It's really good. But I forgot what I was gonna say entirely. It was about hand-holding. It was about narration and recaps.
Gargoyles. Was it about Gargoyles?
Gargoyles is what threw me off.
Oh,
I just wanted to acknowledge that Gargoyles is a good show. I don't know, it'll come back to me.
Okay.
You know what does a lot of recaps are anime. and they kind of annoy me because they're like One Piece specifically, but a lot of like long running series like that will do like 5-minute recaps at the top, and you have to like skip through those.
You know what really annoys me with some of the animes, because I also like animes, is that where they will give you a prelude to the next chapter, and I'm like, I'm about to watch.
Yeah, I skip those every time. One Piece is the worst at this. Their episode titles will fully spoil what's gonna happen in that episode. It's like, why would you tell me that?
I'm like, could you not do that? Because you're spoiling everything. Yeah, no, I hate that. I'm really not a fan.
I remember what I was gonna say. It was the show I've seen that's the best at not holding your hand at all, but then doing something that makes you remember every little detail is Arrested Development.
Is it good?
It is the first 2 seasons specifically before Netflix took it over. The first 2 seasons of Arrested Development, they have so many like quick and smart jokes that are happening and so many crazy plot lines. Then at the end of the second season, it connects every single plot line in like one episode, and you're like, holy shit. It's like, this is the greatest TV I've ever seen. And then Netflix took over and it was bad. Yeah. But those first 2 seasons of Arrested Development are the smartest writing and the best way to further a plot that you did not realize was happening until it happens. It's so well made.
The BBC murder mysteries are normally very good about that.
Yes.
They normally are very good about, like, they show you details you need to know without pointing them out, and then you either missed them or you didn't. And it feels good to catch on to the story.
Bleach is notorious for doing 5-minute plus recaps. Bleach is a show that I want to watch eventually, but I finished One Piece. But also I do know that they have a lot of recaps. Yeah. A lot of filler in them, but I've heard the recent series, like the finale series, is supposed to be like incredible. So.
On another similar but totally different note, I've started watching Love is Blind.
Oh, you want that quality trash. You want that high tier garbage.
It is, honestly, okay. So I've started watching the new season, which is apparently, I'm a little worried. Someone is like, they're like, we should go watch the previous season, because the previous season is drama, like real drama, and it stresses me out. Like, some of the drama, like, it just lowers your faith in humanity.
That's why I struggle to watch the show.
It's tough.
Even when we watched Survivor, I was like, it hurts me to watch.
It hurts. I'm like, that's how the human race is. Like, dang, okay, that's who we are as a people. That's awful.
That's why people love watching like the Kardashians and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't watch this.
I can't. It's really tough. This one's doing okay so far. We haven't gotten into anything really bad yet, which is good because my heart can't take that kind of stuff. But it ends up being. Do you know the premise of Love is Blind?
Is it they get married without knowing each other?
Well, they like start dating. They have like 15 girls and 15. I don't know how many girls. Okay. Lots of girls, lots of guys, and they are set up on dates, and they can't see the other person.
Yes.
So they'll like chat, and the only way they get to see the other person is if the guy proposes. Or I mean, I'm sure.
So they don't see each other till the wedding. That's what it is, right?
Or till they propose.
Okay.
Yeah. So then when they propose, they go on this like vacation together or whatever. And then apparently they go home to meet the families, and then they get married, and the whole show is whether or not they say I do at the marriage, at the wedding ceremony. So this is wild. But it ends up being like really wild for how much looks matter.
Yeah.
Which is really wild for me. I'm just not a very visual person. So it's really wild to me to watch this show because I just don't understand it. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand what's wrong with these people. And they're like, well, I mean, yeah. And I'm like, no, there's no, yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm like, no. Absolutely, I don't get it at all. Anyways, it has spoilers every once in a while on, like, the recaps. And it'll show which people are walking up to the altar. It won't say, like, whether or not they say I do. They say I do or not. But they don't. Only a couple of the girls get proposed to. So I'm like, well, clearly she gets proposed to. And I'm like, why would you show that as a spoiler? Like, it's the weirdest thing. I don't understand how they do these. Like, that's the whole point of the show. I don't get, like, the prelude thing.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
The One Piece example I have for that is Luffy's in a predicament and it looks like he's about to die, and then the episode ends with I won't say who because it's a major spoiler, but a character comes in to save him. And then the title of the next episode is "This Character Sacrifice." A tearful goodbye to, and I was like, "Why would you call it that?"
Yeah, that's
why I know exactly what's gonna happen now.
Yeah, oh, that's the worst. Oh my gosh.
Did you guys see this month's Paizo Live?
Nope.
Hey, sorry, gang. We ain't the Paizo guys.
Yeah. Wait, what was it about? Was it good?
Was it good? Was it fun?
Okay. Wow, I had to catch up. What's going on here? Sully is Sully. Okay. Oh my gosh, I should watch these things with Sully. It would be great to watch these things.
She's begging to watch these with someone.
I would absolutely watch these with you. I binged the first season of Love Is Blind with my last 4 girls who were in my oh my god, it's going away in my dorm building right before COVID VBACs. Oh my god, it's going away more. One of the best experiences in my life. Great way to drown out everything else that was happening in the drama and the drama was tea. I should also specify most of these women were strangers. We trauma bonded. Honestly, please. Absolutely. I am a big fan. Honestly, it stresses me out a lot. So like the whole time, if you want a quiet watching partner, that's not me. The whole time I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? And then I get really depressed because if someone is a horrible person, I'm like, how can you do that? This is another human being. And people are like totally okay with like just savage. Like they're totally removed from other people's feelings. It's unbelievable.
I will say I like watching when we watched Survivor, my skin would crawl, but the best TV moment for me was on that season where it was with season 7 with Johnny. Where it was like with his grandma, like the twist of that. I still think and laugh about that. Like that was genius move to do that.
Man, they had so many good. Like Survivor back in the day was a wild time. I know we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But Survivor was just a different era. Like when they first started, it was a different era. It was
like a bunch of new Starfinder undead races, plus there's a new vampire AP coming out. That's cool. Is it okay? So is it undead races? I assume for 2nd edition, or is it for 1st edition? Is it they're still adding 1st edition stuff? That'd be pretty crazy.
Do you do 1st or do 2nd edition Starfinder?
I know 1st edition Starfinder because 2nd edition Starfinder is just Pathfinder 2e, but they like tweak some of the rules. Okay. So once that eventually happens, and I'll say it here, and I've said it before, I think, but secrets will always be Starfinder 1st edition until it's done. Then we'll swap to 2nd edition. But new vampire adventure path is that's what we do.
I would have rolled with it. I had no idea what AP meant. So
in my mind, it's always actual play.
Yeah, I have no idea.
There's a new adventure path. Is the new vampire AP also for Starfinder, or is that a Pathfinder one? Either is cool. But vampires in space. Sounds pretty baller.
Cool. Honestly, my favorite. So I do a lot of. I do a lot of the art for the show. I don't do all
most of it.
I do most of it. I do a lot of the art for the show. And Starfinder is consistently my favorite art to do because you really do have, like, there's like a genre of like the old. It's like the fantasy trope where you like the knight and the armor and the like the sexy woman and like the big bulky guy and all that stuff, and then you get to Starfinder. All bets are off. You want a purple-skinned homie with, like, round glasses, a white hat, and, like, the dopest-looking poncho?
Sure.
I got you.
He's there.
He is the coolest-looking man ever. You want a rat with a wrench for an arm? And, like, absolutely. Like, let's go. That was the funnest thing to do ever. It was kind of difficult, but honestly, it was a lot of fun.
You want a little plant with Doc Ock arms?
Yes.
Then absolutely.
I should really send... I don't know. I should really put that. I guess I could do like just shirts for each one, but I should really at some point just send out the art and have like an art page on Discord.
You did like prints of it and stuff too. I think that'd be cool.
Something like that, but just like a tab on Discord where you can go and look at all the character art because like some of it, I put a lot of effort into them, and you can see a lot of cool things.
Yeah,
they're pretty, and it's such a small on the thing that you can't really see it, but they've got some cool ones. Clementine is the coolest looking little lady you've ever seen.
She's got a ton of detail in her.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
She's like got the coolest hat, the coolest dress. I'm like, dang, this is so much cooler than just like the next. I mean, to be fair, I also like just making my chonky paladins.
Yeah.
That is something I love to do.
The art you have coming out for season 3 is some of my favorite you've done, and I'm biased for that because it's for my show.
It's so good.
But it is very cool.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Pathfinder, and I think one of the spoilers for Starfinder was maybe vampires in space. Sick.
Sweet. That's
I mean,
awesome.
I've never played Curse of Strahd, but more opportunities to play similar Curse of Strahd stuff. It's gotta be cool.
What is Curse of Strahd?
Curse of Strahd is like the D&D adventure. That is, it's like you're going to Dracula's castle.
Oh.
But it's Strahd.
What's the deal with vampires?
This is the start of your tight 5.
What's the deal with vampires? Why are they like? Okay, so we have the magical creature races. We have automatons.
What's
which are
the deal with vampires?
What's the deal? I was gonna start. We should start a whole segment on everything. We should bring up questions on like, what's the deal with this? Something you don't get in anything.
Sure.
Anything in general.
So what don't you understand? I'm sorry I cut you off.
There's like all these cool creatures and whatnot, and then vampires are just like, I don't know. They just don't seem like they don't really fit the.
I think it's the sex appeal that really sells them.
Maybe that's what I don't really get.
Because I know that's why a lot of
like,
people love Astarion, whatever, in Baldur's Gate.
I didn't like him at all. I found him I left him on the beach. I was like,
you just ditched him?
I did. He was like, just did his weird like backstabbing thing or whatever. He was like catching you off guard, and I'm like, I don't want you on my team, and I left him. He was like, yeah, bye, and I was like, bye.
I've been playing a game with my friends where we all play it as like versions of characters like from Mario. So it's like I'm Yoshi, but I'm just a huge barbarian.
I like it.
And we are pure chaotic evil. Like Lae'zel died, and her dead body has been at our camp for a month, and we haven't done anything about it. And the only people we currently have are Gale and Shadowheart because they are absolutely necessary for the plot. And they're the only reasons that they're there. But so we had Astarion for a minute, and then there's like a cut scene where you go to sleep at night, and then you wake up, and he like is about to like bite your neck. And it was doing it for one random person at our party, and they just did, "What are you doing? Get away from me, you sick freak!" And then he ran into the woods, and we never saw him again. He's just gone.
That man, you traumatized that man for life.
We said, "Get away, sicko!" And he just sprinted.
He's probably hiding in a corner somewhere with a blanket over his head.
Oh, we are the villains. Like we're playing as Mario and friends. Yeah. We're the villains. Like we are we are killing a lot. We are just getting into fights constantly. Yeah. Anytime there's an option to like talk your way out of it, that's not the solution. Yeah. We have to kill. The new Pathfinder Adventure Path deals with the ancient civilizations of Azlanti.
Azlanti? I think it might be Azlanti.
Plus Earthfall and Star-Crossed lovers that are evil. That's fun.
That sounds like vampires right there.
Eternal lovers that hate each other. Sounds like a fun little dynamic.
Isn't Azlanti?
Is it Atlantis?
Yeah, I was like, is that a water nation place?
Vampires in water doesn't seem like it would mix well. Yeah, that's kind of their whole thing. They don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Earthfall
is.
Not? Is that their thing? I thought they didn't like stakes.
They don't like running water. Running water can kill a vampire. Did you not know that? I'm not messing with you. Running water is a way to kill vampire. It is.
Start doing the dishes.
Yeah, if you do that, babe, I can't do the dishes. I'm a vampire.
So you're like, well, maybe you can do the laundry. It's like,
no, are you crazy? Just say you want me dead.
You're like, okay, fine. Why don't you mop the floor? They're like, I'm out of here. You're clearly insane. And I'm like, you just want to get out of all the chores, don't you? Like, dang.
Yes, Aslant. I assume it's Aslant is Atlantis. Okay. What's Earthfall then? Earthfall sounds cool. So, okay, this is completely off topic. But
I was going to say go ahead.
No, you go ahead first. You had it first, and I can save mine. It's total off topic.
Mine's also off topic.
Okay, go for it.
But this is, I mean, generally. Did you ever see the movie Atlantis? Atlantis? Is that what it's called? Atlantis. It's like with Milo. Movie? No, Milo goes down. They like are.
Yes, the animated one
Yeah,
with
the
Michael J.
animated
Fox as Milo. Yeah. I don't
Is
know
that
why.
Michael J. Fox?
That's Michael J.
Really?
Fox.
Man,
Yeah.
You know a lot of names. That's good.
I like movies.
I didn't know that.
I like movies. I like shows.
That was a great movie.
That is great. I don't remember much from it, but I remember
movie.
loving it. I love the little mole guy.
Mole.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. Oh my gosh. You have disturbed the dead.
That movie has such great character design. Like
So
every
good.
character looks so completely
So
unique.
good.
It's
and
so
they
good.
are like they fit their characters.
Yeah.
Like they don't.
Oh,
like-
the sexy bad lady that's part of the
Yes.
crew. I forget her
Like
name or deal.
Angelina Jolie, she's got to play that
It's
if
like,
it ever comes out. The guy that the explosive guy, the Italian explosive guy, the best. The chef. Oh my gosh, so good.
that and Road to El Dorado. I would watch.
And Road to El Dorado. I love Road to El Dorado. Both of those are like really top.
Treasure Planet.
I didn't like Treasure Planet as much.
Treasure Planet, same thing where I really liked the design and I liked the aesthetics of it, but if I probably watched it now, because I don't remember anything from the plot, and that tells me that as a kid I didn't like the plot.
I watched it and I liked the style, but I did not like it as much as Atlantis or Road to El Dorado, and I loved those two movies a lot. They were like incredible. That would make a great Pathfinder campaign.
The Road to El Dorado?
Atlantis.
Okay.
Well, just for the Atlantis one.
Yeah.
But,
Starfall is the meteor that fell and killed off the civilization of lizard folk that ruled the planet before humans came along.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's neat. The Serpentine people died out too. Then it led to quest for Sky for Dwarves. Everyone think for Treasure Planet. Ooh, a smart guide. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, ooh, smart. I actually do kind of remember that. But I don't think from watching the movie. I think that was from, like, memes later. Or something.
I meant Serpentine, not lizards. So my completely off-topic thing.
Go for it.
100% off-topic. I guess it's adjacent to reality shows. Did you ever watch the Ghost Adventures show, where it was like the three guys that go into haunted places?
No, but I have seen trailers for it.
Okay, so have you seen the bald guy in the trailers at all? He's like,
I don't remember.
Okay,
exactly.
He's the one. His name is Aaron, I think, and he was like the one that would always get the most scared, so they'd always make sure they send him in like solo with like a GoPro on his head and he'd freak out. So today, it's not funny for him, but it's insane that it happened. Today it came out that his wife, who he married 2 years ago, while he was out shooting, filming the show, tried hiring an inmate in Florida to kill him. She put out a hit on the guy to kill him for like $11,000, and in the text, as she was it was revealed that she said like, "Have you done it yet? Is $11,000 enough?" And then she says, "Am I a bad person for trying to kill him instead of just leaving him?" Like she has like a moment of clarity, and it's like that's insane that actually happened. But also, of all the people to kill, if he got killed that way, they would ghost hunt for him. Yeah. They would absolutely be trying to talk to their buddy from the other side.
That's wild. So, it's wild that you can... Okay.
There's a lot to
digest. There's a lot wild. What I think is wild is that you could possibly kill someone for $11,000.
You think a life is worth $11,000?
A life? Someone thinks that a life is worth $11,000. That's crazy to me. I've never thought about how much you would have to pay a hitman.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it.
I would think $100,000 at least.
That's what I thought.
Like 6 figures.
If I'm going
to low
risking,
5?
Yeah, if I'm going to be risking like life in prison or like I don't know, whatever, it's got to be like a significant chunk of change.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting whoever this guy was, who clearly couldn't keep his mouth shut and didn't do a very good job of killing the guy. He's still alive.
He was in prison. He was the guy she was texting, actively in prison, and he had his phone confiscated by the guards. And then that's how they saw the text.
Wow,
and it's
terrible.
like, why would you text a guy who's actively in prison to do it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she thought he had connections.
Maybe.
Was he supposed to do it himself, or was he hiring someone else?
I don't know. I didn't go into that detail.
Do you get a commission?
Do you get a commission? He's the fence.
How does this work exactly?
It's so crazy.
That seems like a very small number to me.
Have you heard about the crazy hitman who subcontracted a guy to another guy who subcontracted a guy? He kept going. No. Is that what happened with Archduke Franz Ferdinand? Or whatever his name was? Archduke Ferdinand.
I feel like there is half the chat that is like really into the Pathfinder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of Pathfinder lore happening.
Pathfinder lore is happening, and I'm sorry, we are actually on a Pathfinder show.
Yeah.
I think. But, joke's on you, we are bad.
I don't know. Guys,
we don't know nothing.
Honest, don't know anything about Pathfinder lore.
Yeah, we're gonna have other shows with people who are actual nerds.
All Pathfinder lore I have learned has been against my will. It's been when Arcadius or when AJ just start talking about it. I go, yeah, dude.
Me and AJ used to talk about it a lot, and I actually really enjoyed it. Like, that was really fun, especially for character creation.
Right.
I loved it. Which is originally, I mean, almost all of my characters have been based off of, like, going through the deities. And then, like, because it was a big thing when we first started that, like, you had to be religious.
Yeah.
In our shows. Like, you had to be, because there was, like, deities walking around. So it was just weird to be an atheist in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
So, like, we had a thing. So we would read up on the deities all the time for character creation. And just reading through the list of deities is so inspiring. Like,
there's many in there.
Yeah, there's so many, and they're, like, wild. The one for the Abomination Vault character, it was like the goddess of monsters. And she was the coolest. And I was like, well, obviously I'm going to base my character around this lady. Even though she's chaotic evil and everybody hates her, that's okay.
That's what, it overwhelms me when I look at that stuff. Like, there's, like, when I get, like, handed a textbook of that world, I'm like, this is so
me
much.
Me too. I just go through, Lamashtu! Yeah, she is awesome. That's my whole character was based off of Lamashtu. And it would have been really cool. It's too bad that shouldn't get. Let's see here. Have you seen our work? Yes! Super cool. The mother of monsters. I really love
favorite
it.
This god.
I know. It would have been super cool.
I always laughed because I made Jumbles a better healer by making him just say that there's no gods.
It was weird.
So in my mind, when Jumbles grows up, he's like, "What? Those big magicians?
Yeah.
What do you mean gods?
You mean those people? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I know a powerful wizard too.
Yeah. You mean they haven't been killed yet? Is what you're saying. I know healing stuff. They know healing stuff. You could live forever.
I imagine she looks like. Oh, I don't know why that got flagged, Nebula. You're fine though. Don't worry. It's not. A reason misogyny. Nebula said, I imagine she looks like Lady Gaga. I don't want to go up and hit allow. I think you can still type in chat. I think you're fine.
Yeah. If we never hear from Nebula again,
I'll give it a couple.
Happens.
Nebula, send a message if you can. If not, I will get up in a couple minutes here to go check.
Yeah.
I have I'm not even gonna try for that word.
Yep.
Medic. I have a medic.
Yeah.
I don't need the god. Stay away from me.
I'm guessing that means something. Clerics are just rebranded. What is it? Do you think magic comes from God and Sky? Yeah.
What are you, stupid?
Yeah.
Nebula's there. She's
Nebula's
good. She's
there.
back.
Okay, sweet.
All right.
Yeah. That's funny. It looks like Lady Gaga. Yeah, I mean that's pretty misogynistic. if I were to,
it flags the words looks like lady. No. No acknowledgement of women.
Over there. Right there is a lady.
Right there, a woman. No.
Not even a woman, a lady.
A lady.
Which is like pretty polite, I think.
It's an honor to be a lady.
There's from. Oh, I hate the gods. Okay. We should just. Rahadum. Oh, Rahadum! I've heard that word. I've just never seen it before.
Sure.
It's illegal to worship any god in that country. I have heard that.
Funny.
We were thinking about going. At some point, we were going to some place. We were probably going to Rahadum. And one of the things is that do you have any religious symbols on your outfit? Which, for most, like, paladins and clerics, you have to have a symbol to do your magic.
Mm.
And so I would not have had to. I don't think we ended up going. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, I have heard of that before. It's funny because you can read. I'll look at a word and just my brain gives up, and then I'll like try one time, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can read.
See, I give up because it's like if you've ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there's just a ton of that, and it's really not made to be read out like it's like I don't try. There's the poem that's like the worst poem in the galaxy, and it's just words that are just like gobbledygook. It's like I'm not gonna even attempt.
I did the audio book of that, and that was pretty good.
The audiobook is so good. It was Stephen Fry, I think, narrated it, and he's phenomenal.
What's funky about audiobooks and having a reader is that I don't know how people how people end up having that reader for other books and being okay with that. I'm like, that's that person forever. I will always know Jim Dale is Severus Snape. Like, he can't go read some other book and I won't immediately think, like that's clearly Professor McGonagall or whatever. Like, I'm never going to not associate that voice.
There's so many audio. I have yet to hit that issue just because there's so many audiobooks, but it will feel weird when I do that.
And then I had a really tough time because I think more recently they've gotten more into having more than one reader. That's how
they had with Dune. Yeah. With like if an important moment was happening in the book, they'd have other actors come in.
I'm not a huge fan of that because it really does. I don't think they do it well enough with audio balancing that it feels like it's in the same level. I don't know how to say that better, but like it just. You can't listen to books. You have to read them. I love listening to books.
It's the opposite of me. I struggle to sit down and read.
I'm super auditory.
When I was in school, we would listen to audiobooks, and it would be the narrator would have one voice, and then all the characters would have their own voice, and that works because it was consistent. But when it's like inconsistent like that, that's when it sucks me out.
It's really tough.
That's why I stopped listening. Part of a very small part of why I stopped listening to Dune was because that kept sucking me out of it, and then I wouldn't hear what they were saying because I was like, oh, this is a different guy now.
Yeah. I don't know. I listen to so many web novels.
Read to me.
I'm like, what? Read to me with TTS. What's that?
Can't tell you.
When I listen to an actual audiobook with a real voice actor. Oh, I see. I get
text
confused.
to speech.
Really? You can read... Okay. So I tried this, but this was very long ago. This was when I was in high school. Because I was trying to get my books to be audiobooks so I could do it while I was writing and listen to like schoolwork and stuff. It did not work. Is it better now? Like, can you actually...
I imagine with like AI voices, maybe.
Is it better? Because I can still... I listen to robot people all the time. Wow. Rahadoum is a fantastic country, much like Razmarin.
Sure.
Razmarin?
Whatever you say, I believe.
That sounds good. Fantastic countries, totally not dangerous, unstable locations, 100% safe. Yes, I have heard that as well. I have heard if you go there, you will have a great time and not die immediately. Just don't get caught with anything that they don't approve of, and then you'll be fine.
It's so easy.
I already have an inner monologue, so listening to audiobooks, I space out.
See, that's when I read a book physically, I can like hear different voices in my head, like for it. But it's like there's a certain point that I just tune it out, and then my inner monologue just becomes whatever else I was thinking of earlier, and I can't sit down to read it.
I can read some books, but it's honestly, and this is gonna sound terrible, and I'm sure a lot of people will judge me for this, but I actually really like reading world-building fan fiction.
Yeah.
And that I can read because I'll read it in like short spurts, like in between waiting for classes or in between waiting for someone like a horse to get picked up or something. And I'll read that and I can read that and it's no problem because I already know what everything looks like. I already know the setting. I already know any of that. So I don't have to focus that hard. I'm not learning any new information. Like the world building is still within like this set of like whatever it is. Like I don't have to think so hard. If it's going into a new book and I have to completely learn the whole new setting, then I need to do an audiobook.
World building is one of the most fun parts of writing to me.
Reading it is great.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a big fan, especially if I already know the setting.
You just realized it's there?
No, but I do this and I move my hands and I watch myself move it. And sometimes I'll go like this with my hand and then it was blocking the thing and I'm like, well, that looks weird. And now I'm focusing on it. So I'm like, well, this has to leave now. Anyways.
World building is, I love figuring out the nuances of the world and stuff like that. Like that's my favorite part. One of my favorite parts of writing is figuring that stuff out. And the motives for people just from the world itself.
Well, I love when people will think, like, I mean, these are incredibly well thought out.
Yeah.
Where they'll go through a story like The Hobbit, or they'll go through Harry Potter, or they'll go through Star Trek.
Super fans.
And they'll make it work.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is how it could, like, legit work. On, like, these are the rules of the world, and these are and it's basically someone really sat down and did some brainstorming on how could these rules be consistent on this world, and, like, how could we make this, like, a realistic setting. And I love that. I love when someone puts in the effort for, like, creating a whole culture, even for, like, a forgotten sub part on the side. They'll create a full culture that, like, still fits with the rules of the book.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's so great. It's so fun.
There's I think Adventure Zone did this for one of their seasons. I forget what season it was, but there's a game you can play that if you're doing, like, a homebrew world, there's, like, it's another little TTRPG where it's all about you building the world that you're going to play in. And it's like you all play as, like, not like a character, but as, like, a person. You have a person, and you give this person that's important to the world motive, and then you roll to figure out what happens, and then you go around for the next generation, and you kind of just keep doing that as you build the world. It's like you physically build the world itself, and then you start populating it like that, and you end up with a completely unique world. It's a super cool system.
That's pretty awesome. Do they have? But this is a video game.
It's a TTRPG.
Oh, okay.
It's for you to do before you make, like, a Pathfinder or something like that.
I'm like, I honestly don't know what TTRPG. I mean, I know what the words mean, but I'm like, that means nothing to me. Because I could say, people say that, like, these acronyms for, like, everything, and they all sound generally similar to me. So I'm like, that could be a video game where you go out on the world on your own, and it's open world. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, it could be
tabletop role playing game. The thing we do.
Well, I know, but, like, that could. People also use that for video games. Or no? Is it just RPG?
RPGs with these. TT is the tabletop.
Tabletop. Yeah, okay. This is why we're friends.
I can translate.
Rules of the World from the book series Mark of the Fool is legit. Just D&D book made into a world. Oh yeah. I'm sure they do that a lot. I'm sure people do that a lot.
There's a lot of novels just based off of people's D&D stuff. Yeah. And sometimes they're good.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at focusing to read, but world build is a favorite of mine. I may not watch cutscenes often and whatnot, but I do try my best to still understand what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, this is back to Mark of the Fool. It even includes tidbit about how long ago there was people that believed a cat could best a villager because in 3.5 a house cat was stronger than a pet. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's still kind of how it is. I nearly died from a rat. And I was, first of all, I was a paladin, and I nearly died.
You had the power of God on your side.
Yeah, and I don't know if I had medium armor already at that point, because I was pretty baby. But I for sure had armor on, and I did not die of sickness. I died of health damage to 0, I think. I lost that fight pretty badly.
I'll say it. I'm debating if I should say it or not, but I'll say it. I won't say names again. There's a
scandal.
Well, it's about writing based off your D&D worlds. So, like, a lot of them will end up fine. Like, you know, I'm not a published author, so I'm not digging them at all. Right. But I one time got invited. It's so bad.
Oh, no.
I don't know if Logan's here or not because he also got invited to this years ago. No. He can vouch for it. But it was like years ago, like beginning of 2020, I think. It was, there were some people from an improv class I took that invited me to this project that they were trying to make an animated pilot for a show. Mm-hmm. And I read it, and the whole time I was reading it, I was like, this is garbage. I was like, this is like the most male fantasy thing I've ever read in my life. Mm-hmm. And then I found out that the guy is based off of the guy who created its D&D character, who is just dumb barbarian man, but now he's in space. And I read it, and I was like, we got a Discord for like 45 minutes. I was like, okay, read this again and tell me what part of this makes him likable in any sense, because he's busting out of jail, killing a bunch of people indiscriminately, and then declares that he wants his weapon that he just named Bunny Rabbit because it's funny, then goes on to kill more people. I was like, at no point in this have I seen that he's a real stable human person who does not belong in jail. Right. He looks like a psychopath. And if I got kicked off that project because I kept telling them, no, that's not good, guys. They just fully just kicked me out of their Discord. And it was rough.
That sounds terrible. You know what's phenomenal though? Is actors that play the asshole so well. Yeah. That you love them. So like Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man. Yes. I think is one of the best people where you're like, this, I would hate this man. I would honestly hate this man. He is so obnoxious. And he's my favorite, Marvel person. Yeah. He's unbelievable. He's so, it was his character arc as well, but even at the beginning when he was obnoxious, he was kind of charming. Yeah. Well, it's tough to play an obnoxious character and be that,
even that's how Severus Snape is, right? People still love Snape. Right. We know what he did and stuff, but even before, you love Snape even though he is a tool the entire time.
Right. It really is phenomenal. But it's different. Snape is, very good. But even Snape, I think, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I'll have to think about it a little bit. I don't know.
Another example I thought, I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the Peacemaker show on it? That's really good. It's made by James Gunn, so he's a Guardians guy. And that's a really good thing of watching a guy who was a villain become a hero. And he is a tool, but John Cena plays him, and he plays him so well. Nice. And by the end, you're crying for him, and you're like, oh my god, he had a whole character. It was incredible. Right. He does a really good job of actual horrible person to who you still like even as a horrible person. Right.
But I generally like the villains.
Yeah, a good villain makes a good show.
A good villain is really hard to beat. I'm almost convinced Darth Bane, at least the way the book reads, was written as a D&D adventure. Well, yeah, maybe. Another Darth Maul, was my all-time favorite Star Wars character, and he died way too easily, and I was
Have you watched the Clone Wars?
No.
You should watch the Clone Wars.
I know, I've heard I should.
Speaking, there's some Darth Maul stuff in there that you probably enjoy.
He died! They can't just, take that back.
You'll never guess what they do in Star Wars the Clone Wars.
Okay.
They take it back. But apparently he's one of the best characters in the show. So
he was the best character in the OG show. He was so cool. I wanted to do my lifelong dream as a teenager is probably pretty good estimation of who I am as a person, was to be a cosplayer as Darth Maul. That was my big time dream.
I want to kill Qui-Gon Jinn.
I want to kill him. He was so cool. He was the coolest guy ever. I'm husband material right there. Gosh.
What is that, 8 horns on his head?
Yeah, it's so cool. He's just a horny guy. I don't know what to tell you. He's so cool. And he had the cool, face paint, and he was, cool, calm, collected type all the time, except for he'd snarl at people all the time. Yeah. He was cool. He was the coolest guy ever. Ugh. I don't know. It ended up being. Clearly, the Bryn is a teenager. That was me.
Ran a gang. Loved Darth Maul.
Oh, Darth Maul is the best. The villains in Arcane.
Oh, every villain was
so good.
So the writing of Arcane is insane. So good.
The villains that I think were almost exclusively my favorite characters throughout the whole show. Obviously there was a good character. No, I would say the villains are probably my favorite characters throughout the whole show. Even considering, I don't know if you guys watch this, but even considering the girl with the gold, the girlfriend in the first one. She was kind of villainy in the first one. Yeah. And I loved her for it. And I loved, oh my gosh.
She knew what she wanted and she got it.
Well, she just played the game. Yeah. And she played the game better than everybody else. So, you've got to respect it. It was so good.
Love her mom.
Love her mom. Her mom's my favorite. I would love her in real life, too.
I'm trying. I love, there's okay, the end of season 1, she just has some twink with her. And he's just like there to serve her. And then by the next season, he's gone and she got more buff. It's like, did you eat him? Like, what did you consume him for protein? What happened to him?
Yeah.
Good villain makes for a good book and show. I love good villains. Yeah. That's why I stopped watching Korra, was because the villain of season 1 was so good that when I learned he's not the whole thing, I was like, I don't want to watch the rest of this.
Yeah.
None of the characters in Korra are as redeemable as the original gang.
Yeah. Well, not only does it make a good show, it also ruins a good show if you don't have one. If the evil guy is just evil because evil is evil and you need an evil guy, then you're like, why are we even
unless
doing
you're like
anything?
Transformers. like unless you're like an 80s cartoon that just needs to sell a toy.
Back. The Transformers were phenomenal, and I love the evil people. Honestly, like when
Decepticons ruled.
So cool. I loved whatever they did with. They should take a step back. The whole entertainment industry should take a step back, and the sheer awe that we got from the Transformers transforming in the show, they need to recreate that. Because that was, I think everybody was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
You told me that's a man and a truck.
Yeah, like, oh my god. And the full transformation, like, looked so cool. And every time it happened and they would, like, roll out and they'd become, like, they'd jump into action or whatever it was. I was like, you need to recreate that. I don't know what it was, but, like, it's so much better than what they're doing.
So the combination of both of these is, they had Transformers 1 come out last year, which was, like, the new animated one. And it's about Optimus Prime and Megatron being friends before they became enemies. And so you're watching Optimus become Optimus Prime and you're watching Megatron become like the villain.
Right.
And apparently, I haven't seen it yet. I really want to see it, but
romance?
It's not quite a romance. It could have been a romance, and then there's a twist, and then they become mortal enemies. But it is like watching, like, you fully understand Megatron's like mentality on why he becomes like the supervillain and stuff. I've heard it's great. Yeah. Which is like, that was one of the victims of bad marketing, because all the marketing looked like this is just a dumb kids movie.
That is what I thought.
Yeah, and then people saw it and they were like, that was like even just the animation itself was like great.
Because I have the opposite problem all the time, where I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go see this cute movie, and I'm like, that was a kids movie.
Yeah.
So I am very worried when I go see it. If I see it and it looks like a kids movie already, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go see that.
There's signs I always try to look for. If you don't know much about the plot, but you see a lot of the jokes in the trailer, then it's gonna be probably bad. But that's what Transformers 1 was, and then it turned out to be good. There's the Marvel just recently, like, they've had that Thunderbolts movie that's coming out. They've like had that teasing for like a year, and it was not until their previous trailer that it actually hooked me, because it was very like.
What is it? Thunderbolts
is like all of like the subpar villains that nobody liked, and they're trying to make making a movie about this team of them like having to fight a villain. And the joke of it's supposed to be that it's like all of the characters nobody cared about that have been discarded now have their own thing.
Gotcha.
And every trailer for it was just like, this is another Marvel movie. This is just another Marvel movie. I've seen it, but they just had a trailer come out that was quick. And it had like good upbeats to it. And what it advertised were the people who worked on the movie. Like, it advertised like, this is the composer for Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is the cinematographer for Dune. This is like, they like had like all of the credits for like these movies that you've seen and loved. It's like, these are the people that worked on those that you love those movies for. They're in this movie. And it's like, all right, that's way more interesting to me than watching a Marvel quip for the 1,000th time. Like, and now I'm like way more into it. Marvel version of Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, hopefully it's better.
Hopefully. Well, the second Suicide Squad was good. The Suicide Squad.
They ruined the first one, so
don't worry about it. The first one is like my least favorite movie of all time. Second one,
really was tragic. I was like, I'm not gonna go see the second one. The first one ruined my life.
The second one was a reboot, and again, James Gunn, the Guardians guy, did that. So he it's good. I actually recommend it.
They should have done that for the first one.
Should have.
So I remember back in the yonder year when I was a wee tot, I would go online and look at trailers, and I would just run through trailers because the trailers were so good. And I'd like write down movies that I wanted to go see that year. It would be like, I don't know if it's around January, but like several times a year, I would go and look up trailers, like what trailers are happening. Because the trailers were so good, and it was like almost better than going to see the movies. The trailers were phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It's like the same thing with like the like animatronic things, like where they have all these like super cool effects, and then you're like, that's it. That's it.
That's
what you figured out.
Like $1 billion on that monkey that moves at the end of Avatar.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Because first of all, 30 years ago, we had some phenomenal stuff. It was probably less than 30 years ago, but it was still really good.
Like, it was simpler.
Yeah.
It was simpler and it was impressive.
Well, and even I saw, it was like a short on Facebook or something, and it was like, and this is what they had, it was the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where he had like the tentacle head.
CGI in that was so good.
So good.
Yeah.
And they have him playing the piano with the tentacles, and it looks phenomenal.
Jurassic Park still looks amazing. That shot in Jurassic Park, I think about it constantly, is the shot where the Velociraptor peeks its head up and it has the projector has the DNA, like the TCAG, just repeating over and over on it again. Looks so good. That's such a great shot.
Yeah,
but
it's remarkable.
With is Davy Jones. Yeah. With his thing, it was every time I see it, people are like, "Why isn't CGI like this now?" And in the comments, I always see it's like people who work in those are like, because we have rush jobs now. They're like, we see that and made a bunch of money, so they make us do it twice the work with half the pay. So now all of it looks bad.
That makes sense.
Which is why you get like the end of Black Panther, which looked great until it became a messy CGI fight.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park still holds up super well.
What's also interesting is that like sometimes I love watching the like Screen Junkie stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. And they'll be like, why is a fight good?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll go to movies and I'm like, did you not see that? It's like a 15-minute video on YouTube. You should watch that video because it would make your fight a lot better.
Yeah.
Because it really, there's so many fights where there's no power dynamic. There's no reason for them to have any power. They don't get injured.
Yeah.
Like all these things, there's no stakes in the game.
If there's no stakes, there's no emotional reason for it. Or if you have both of those and then your entire fight is just quick cuts that you don't ever see a blow, it's just nothing and it's confusing.
If there's no impacts, there's no reactions, like nothing. And I'm like, I can link you a video. And it's just a 15-minute video. And it'll explain a lot onto why it's a good movie. Or a good fight.
What movie I love that does just about everything we've talked about with this is my favorite movie. It's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've heard that I
will watch that with you tonight, and I will cry with it. I'll cry 5 times because every time I watch that movie, I cry.
I would watch
hard.
that. I would watch it.
There's a scene where it's like a character does like kung fu stuff, and the camera work in that is amazing, and you see every single hit that he does. Like they don't cut away from it. You see him actually, like they mime it obviously, but you see the cut, the hits, and then the camera work in it is good. What is it about?
Yeah.
Because
I know, how old is it?
2022?
No, I definitely haven't seen it.
It's about a lot. The short of it is it is a mother who owns a laundromat with her family, and it's her family's starting to split apart and they're having issues, and then she has the ability to jump into other dimensions. And so she sees alternate versions of her life and stuff like that. And it is such a beautiful and moving. It is like comedy. It has the funniest jokes you'll see in it. It is so good. The directing is amazing. The Daniels directed it. They do such a great job. And it's such an emotional movie that it makes you like cry while watching the most silly and ridiculous stuff. The Daniels did what's the movie, Corey? I missed the name. It's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I have heard that I should go watch that. They said I would really like it.
It's so good. The Daniels did the movie. Have you heard the movie Swiss Army Man? So it is I forget the name. Did you watch the new Star Wars movies?
No.
Okay. There's a guy from the new Star Wars movies who stars in it.
This is again the problem with new movies where I'm like,
it stars a guy, I forget his name, he's the redhead guy, he's a super talented actor, and then Daniel, I forget his name now, Harry Potter. Daniel plays Harry Potter.
Oh, Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I knew it.
I want to say Daniel Craig, but that's James Bond.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe plays Daniel Radcliffe, and this guy gets stranded on an island, but Daniel Radcliffe is dead. He's a dead body, but he's the Swiss Army man because the guy keeps finding every way to use his body to like open. He like chops his arm down. He opens up a like a coconut, or he like tries to start a fire, then his body farts, and then he ignites the fire that way. Or there's like a scene where it's like him jet skiing on his body across the ocean. It is very silly, but their tagline for this movie was, "We want you laughing at the first fart joke and crying at the last one." It's so silly, but they nail it. I have not seen that movie fully yet. I need to like sit down and fully watch it. But like Everything Everywhere All at Once is such an amazing like point of that, where they do the silliest things, and then they tie it together at this emotional, poignant moments that make you just weep and appreciate it. I cannot praise that movie enough. It's A24 too, so good studio. Just make sure you have 2.5 hours. God, I miss the days when movies were just an hour and a half. Most movies nowadays seriously need better. There's very few movies that I feel like we could have cut 10 minutes. Like I haven't walked out and be like, we could have cut 10-15 minutes out of that. Yeah, we didn't need that.
I have not seen Critical Drinker, but I will definitely look them up. I love that kind of stuff. I love when they break down fights. I love when they break down like animation techniques. I love when they break down. I love all that stuff. I love when they did one on breaking down the sound for Dune. Oh, it was phenomenal. So I loved that. Big fan.
My two guys for that are Captain Christian. He does this both with K's. He does super good, like stylized video essays like that. I'll send you one. And then I think they retired. They retired, then they started posting some videos again recently, but I think they're fully done now. Every Frame of Painting. They had, I'll send you this one specifically. They had one about Jackie Chan and how good his fight scenes are, and that's what made me appreciate seeing the hit in the frame rather than cutting away sharply. Because he will spend the entire day of a shoot practicing a fight to make sure it actually works and looks good.
Jackie Chan was phenomenal.
He was so good.
We're gonna lose a little bit of the people who know Jackie Chan and why he was so amazing. Yeah. Just from like aging. But he really was phenomenal. He did such good work, and he did such a good job, because it was pretty hard to get to be taken seriously in Hollywood as just like a fighter. Yeah. And
especially as someone who's not American. Yeah. Too.
He did a phenomenal job of like paving the way for that. Yeah. He really created that entire industry.
He does physical comedy as well as like Buster Keaton, and it's like the best. Like there's a famous fight scene. I forget what movie it is. I've not seen many of his movies, admittedly, but there's a famous fight scene where he's just completely naked, and the whole fight is him grabbing things to cover himself, but then having to use those things to defend himself. And it's so funny. It's like he has like a whole dish tray that he puts there, but then uses that to block people's punches, and then like throws it, and then he like looks around as he's confused and scared. Like he's so good at it now.
It's so good at it. It's so good. I don't know. I love good fight scenes. I'm all about action. Big fan. I like the I don't know. I mean, even the fight scenes where they are trying it's tough when fight scenes end up going into shooty phase. You lose a little bit of it, and it's really hard to keep that. I ended up watching John Wick for the first time very recently.
Good movies.
First one, honestly, that first scene of the dog dying,
brutal.
I was devastated.
Brutal.
I was like, how? I would have loved to be in the movie theater when people first went to go watch that movie. Yeah. Because it's like, I went to go watch Up in theaters. Oh. Nobody was prepared for that.
That first 10 minutes is brutal.
Nobody was prepared for that. Nobody. We were blindsided by that and just sobbing. And I'm sure that's what happened with that movie too. Yeah. First movie, excellent. I love the first movie. Second movie, we lost a lot of the, like, not that there was that much reality. Yeah. But there was very little effect to fighting. Like, he had the bulletproof suit. He ended up getting hit by 3 cars. Yeah. And he just got up and walked away. And I was like, come on. Like, I love the Jason Bourne movies. They're, like, one of my favorites ever.
Have you watched the other 2 John Wicks, 3 and 4?
No, I'm getting there. Okay. I only just recently watched these ones. It was like last week.
4 is my favorite. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, warn, they get sillier. Like they do not slow down with that.
I have heard that, but I heard they do get really good.
4 is my favorite, and there's so many cool fight scenes in that one. And Keanu Reeves apparently trained his ass off to be proper with how he uses weapons.
Well, and he's like legit. Apparently he does a really good. One of the reasons that I did want to watch the movie is that they say that his gun usage is very well. It's very accurate. So while it's not the most realistic, it's very accurate.
Jackie Chan is a world wonder. LOL. He was so good. And funny tidbit, he started in the Chinese opera and went from there to be a debt collector for the Chinese mob before he started making movies. That's funny.
That's awesome.
Gun Fu. Unfortunately, later when Chan did his movies here, the cuts for this is what I'm talking about. The cuts for America versus overseas was different. Where here they chopped it up so much and zoomed it in, it really lost all of the flow.
Yeah.
It was like it's very hard. I'll sometimes walk in on somebody watching a movie,
right.
and like there'll be a fight scene, and I'll be like, I cannot tell you what's happening.
Right.
Like there's so many cuts.
Right.
It's so crazy.
I do think I know that I don't notice things until afterwards. That they do a really good job. The Jason Bourne fights, I love.
Yeah.
A lot of I don't know. I've heard some or watched some of the videos where it's like yeah, it's all camera shake or whatever.
Yeah.
But like when I was watching them, it felt very impactful. Like the fights did feel like fighting.
It's one of those things where you don't really notice it until it's pointed out to you,
right.
and then it's hard to like unsee it.
Yeah.
A lot
to go for ruining a great fight scene.
But now you'll appreciate the good ones even more. once the good ones pop up, because even Marvel does a lot of the shaky cams, but they'll occasionally have Shang-Chi had a lot of fights that were like, I was like, whoa, okay, we're like actually doing like in-camera stuff. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's fun.
The Gun Fu makes me think of Equilibrium. I love that choreography. I haven't seen Equilibrium.
I honestly haven't seen Gun Fu either. I just know it, and I've heard
I honestly thought Gun Fu was a term for movies that they did like fight scenes with guns and where they could have just shot someone and did. I honestly thought that was slang, so I didn't realize that was a movie.
It's a movie.
Right.
There's a
the more you know.
There's a movie with Daniel Radcliffe. What's it called? I think it's called Guns Akimbo. But as he wakes up and he's got two pistols just stapled into his hands.
Yes, I saw the trailers for that. But I'm like kind of a pansy about movies. I'm kind of a pansy. If I think they're gonna be too intense, I really do get way into movies. So I thought the Daniel Radcliffe one might be a little bit too much. It looked a little gruesome.
Yeah. I haven't seen much about it, but I just know I've seen that image of him with the gun stapled.
Even just the premise of it is a little much for me.
I think Gun Fu was a movie. Maybe I'm just wrong, and I just heard that it was the movie, like the fight style of the movie. Maybe I'm wrong. I can say a lot of things and be wrong. I'm on the internet. You know, I lie all the time. Kill Bill is great.
I haven't seen Kill Bill.
You would love Kill Bill. You would love both Kill Bills.
Is it not? I thought it looked also a little bit like major gruesome.
It's not major. It's like over the top, where it's like samurai style, where like you'll slice and then like blood goes
well, that's
like
okay
that.
For me. That's okay.
Yeah, it's not realistic. Like the point of it is supposed to be like a Western version of like a classic samurai movie. Which also another fun fact. I'll just keep spooning them as I say them, as I think them. Is that effect where a samurai slices and then blood shoots out. It came from the movie Sanjuro, and that was an accident. The first time it's at the end of the movie. It's the main samurai man, and then his an enemy of the movie comes up and is like, we're gonna have to do a fight, and they have all these students around them, and it's a great movie. I love that movie. And he's like, all right, we'll do this, but whatever happens, happens. And he looks at the students. He's like, none of you are allowed to interfere whatsoever. It's like, if I die, I die. That's it.
Right.
And so he does the slice. He kills the guy, and it's supposed to just be that you see blood just like trickle out of him. But it was a complete he actually cut the thing a bit too much, and then the blood shot out of the guy, and then he drops dead. And then that was a complete accident that just looked cool.
Right. Yeah.
And then that became like the standard for samurai movies.
That's awesome.
Which is a very fun thing, because that became like the thing that samurai movies do. It's very funny.
That's great. Honestly, that's super cool.
I think it's Sanjuro. It could be. There's two movies. In the first, there's the first movie. Yojimbo's the first movie. Sanjuro's the second movie. Yojimbo is the movie A Few Dollars More. Yojimbo is about the strange man who comes in as two gangs are warring, and he's there to intervene. Which Sergio Leone, the guy who did The Good, Bad, the Ugly, this is the first movie of that trilogy. He just literally copied that movie verbatim, but did cowboys instead of samurai.
Gotcha.
And then the director of
this is what Corey's origin story actually.
Yes.
This is how Corey is the man he is today.
I was stolen by Italians.
Yep. And then he turned Western. That's literally Corey's story. There's nothing we can say here.
I love Westerns.
Does love westerns.
There's a lot of bad ones. You have to watch a lot of bad ones and some pretty racist ones. You really find the good ones in there.
Yeah. I do want to go back. We ended up never finishing
Cowboy Bebop. We never finished it. We got right to the part where I said there's 2 episodes we need to watch back to back, and then we watched the first one, and then we never watched the second one. I was like, we were at the crucial part, and the complaint often was there's not a lot of plot going on, and I was like, we are now at the plot episode, and then we didn't finish the plot episodes.
He was like, we have one rule. Our one rule is we have to watch these 2 back to back.
Like, they are crucial.
Yeah.
They're the Jupiter Jazz episodes, which are like so important to learn all about Spike's backstory, or a good chunk of Spike's backstory, as well as like Faye and like all this like stuff with like what the Syndicate actually is and about. And we got halfway, opened that shower curtain. Hey, you're possibly a lady, and then we ended the episode. That's it.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know why that fell apart.
I think we started watching Survivor. I think we just pivoted to a different show, and I was like, that's all right.
Did we?
Yeah, I think so. Because I was like, that's all right. I'll just watch Cowboy Bebop on my own again, and I did, and I had a great time. It's still my favorite show.
Yeah.
You never guess it, looking at the things I create, that I love Cowboy Bebop.
I think of the art that I do for the shows. Honestly, like, I wonder when I'm doing art for you in particular, because I know so much of your stuff is based off of specific shows. And I'm like, I wonder how funny it would be for me to do the art in those styles of those shows.
It'd be funny. I would never hear the end of it.
I know.
It would look like me. And I'd be like, yeah, do exactly like One Piece.
Yeah. I would
never hear the end of it.
It would be so funny, though. It would be such an eclectic version of, like, a Pathfinder or a Starfinder show.
Yeah.
We'd just be like, oh, here's the One Piece character. Oh, hey, look, it's that Bebop character. Oh, hey, look, it's that one character from that one thing.
Here's the character from Arcane.
Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, it would be phenomenal. But
the music from Cowboy Bebop, I listen to pretty often. Just great jazz. That is the thing. The guy who made Cowboy Bebop has a new show coming out. I linked it in the Discord. Join our Discord. I linked it in the Discord. It's called Lazarus. It is very similar to Bebop. It kind of looks like it has more energy than Bebop did. So I'm very interested. I'm not a fan of Bebop. Cowboy Bebop. I'm starting to think I'm the only person.
AJ also didn't really like it.
Yeah, AJ didn't rock with it. It is the best beginner anime because it is very like Western animation style. So it's like if you don't like it, then it's fine. I
disagree.
I won't. Okay, what do you think is
One Punch Man?
One Punch Man is pretty good.
It
has a lot of Japanese jokes in it though.
They're good though.
They're funny.
Like,
I love One Punch Man.
One Punch Man is and it's short.
So good. Sorry.
I didn't watch Trigun. I want to.
Trigun is way more anime-y Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Trigun is also big inspiration for season 3 of Secrets.
Okay.
But yeah, One Punch Man is very funny. I read One Punch Man for a while because the show dipped in quality.
Yeah.
And it's super funny in the comics too.
I feel like I didn't watch that much of One Punch Man. Well, because honestly, I don't think they had. Oh. This is the thing. We could only watch things that had not subtitles.
Yeah.
The dub. Which I love subtitles, man. I don't mind dubs too, but I really would like the voices to match. And a lot of time the dubs do not.
Yeah. It's very recently they started like doing really, really well with dubs.
Yeah.
First anime I recommend to people is Samurai X. I have not seen Samurai X. I do know another Shinichiro Watanabe show, Samurai Champloo, is very good. That's the guy that did Cowboy Bebop, but it's samurai instead of the future.
You can't do one. You can't stand looking at the main character.
You hate Saitama? He's just a bull guy.
Literally the best. I love him. He's got, especially when they have like 5 characters and they're super detailed.
It's
you
just
can
him.
see every. He's like a blow up doll. He's just like, he's like filled out T-posing in the corner with perfectly smooth skin. He's got 1 line for his mouth, 2 lines for his eyes, and I'm like, that's my guy.
The manga panel is so iconic. I'll have to find it.
Yep.
There's a very good depiction of super speed in that show. Oda was one of the drawers for Samurai X before he went on to make One Piece. All right, now you got my interest.
Nice.
Oda has One Piece, for how many chapters and episodes there are, all of the background characters look so unique, and it's crazy that they all look wildly. They look a little less unique in like the current manga, but like they still look way more different than just like drawings of like a brown haired guy or a black haired girl. Yeah. It is like that guy has a weird hairdo, and he kind of has the face of a character that could have his own show, but he's just a background character.
I love that where it's like I watched a anime. I can't remember. I only vaguely remember the premise, and the premise was that any of the people, it was a guy avoiding the protagonists, and he could tell by the hair color.
That's really funny.
And I'm like, I vaguely remember it, but honestly, it was great.
There's a Straw Hat ship and a samurai axe, and he asked for permission to use it in One Piece. Oh, that's cool. Probably the Going Merry.
I'm a big magical girl anime fan.
You know, my magical girl knowledge really lacks. I watched
my magical girl knowledge also very lacks. I actually probably would like it though.
Probably, it's a staple for a reason. Like it is popular. I watched part of Madoka Magica and I didn't finish it, and I know that's not really a full magical girl anime. It's kind of its own little thing, but I did enjoy what I watched.
I can't remember. I mean, it's probably not the best thing to say anyways, but there was one anime, and the whole point of the anime was to like, it was making fun of how many boob shots there were.
Oh,
and
there's a lot.
It was the best. I loved watching that anime. It was so funny.
There's a show called Kill la Kill that kind of does that, but it heightens it by like the main character, in order for her to go superpowered, has to wear like the skimpy clothes, but the entire time she's like, I hate this. And then like everyone always does it, and everyone's called like, she calls everyone perverts and stuff. Yeah. It's do not watch it in public, because it is like that show, but it is very good and funny.
Mine was not. Mine was like everybody. It was just like boobs bouncing everywhere all the time, and people were just like, it was just a normal show. But it was like it was one of those things. Someone would be buying groceries or something and be just bouncing along, and it was just like a normal thing walking by, and it was so entertaining because it was just like nobody mentioned it ever. It was just like the scenery around here.
There's a show
so funny.
I've watched a couple episodes of, but it's really hard to get through for this reason. It's food. People might know it's Food Wars, and it's on Netflix, and it's about a guy. Yep, there it is. My friends are finishing up Food Wars. There it is. It is. Food Wars is so funny because it is like this guy who's trying to become like the best chef like of all time. Yeah. But anytime somebody eats his food, they orgasm. Immediately. And it is like a detailed prolonged like clothes explode off. It's like, it is hilarious.
Watch this. This sounds so good.
It is hilarious. It is so funny, but it is like, I can watch one episode, and if my roommates are home, I can't to explain it. It's like too much. It is like, I'd rather you just think I was watching this for what you think than explain why I'm watching this. I figured out how to type on PC. Welcome, Logan.
Oh my gosh.
It is truly super funny. It is a very, very funny show, but it is that, like, there's just a point where they just dial the knob up to 100, and you're like, whoa, oh my god.
That's phenomenal. That sounds like a great show. I would love that show.
It's so funny.
I was just thinking, when you said Food Wars, I was immediately assuming it was an American cooking show.
No.
So I was a little lost as to where that was going. I saw the kids cooking challenge. It was like
kids
Kid
like
Chef.
Master Chef.
Yeah, something like that. And those kids are remarkably well put together.
Yes.
They can take a beating.
They're so calm. Like,
boy howdy, I'll have you know, adults couldn't take that type of beating and like stay straight faced. They're like, they'll just straight up, they'll be like, this isn't what we were asked for. It's not creamy enough in this thing. And the kid's like, all right.
If you go head to head with Gordon Ramsay like that, stronger man than I.
There was a video on Facebook or something where it's like a kid doing a stare down with a wrestler. And he did it, like, straight up, stood there, like, the wrestler was, like, down, crouched over, the kid was, like, maybe 2 foot tall.
Crazy.
And he straight up mean-mugged this man. And I was like, that's incredible.
Corey, in case I missed it, what episode of One Piece are you on? I am pulling it up now. I'm on episode
937.
952.
Oh,
You're close.
That was close.
I'm deep in Wano now. I was going to take a break when Wano arc started, because I was like, this is the last major arc I need to watch, and I should watch other things. And I started it, and it was too good. I just kept going.
He makes potatoes wrapped in bacon, and the guy that eats it imagines himself naked wrapped in bacon.
That's Food Wars. Food Wars is crazy.
I don't know if that would be like an orgasmic experience, though.
It is so ridiculous. It is like every conflict is resolved by them eating his food, orgasming, and then they love the guy. It's so fun. I'll have Bryn watch it.
I will absolutely.
We have to watch it at your house where there's nobody else, so I don't have to explain it.
We can do that.
Last major arc that's going to be coming out till 2030. It's the last major arc for the anime because Egghead is short and it's just caught up on the dub. I'm sorry, you don't know what's happening. Wano is the largest arc in One Piece. It is 200 episodes on its own, and it's like I watched 700 episodes to get here. So it's like, what's another 200 at this point?
What's another 200? Like, honestly.
Oh, Delicious in Dungeon is another great one. Have you heard of that one at all? Nope. That's very D&D where it's like a party goes into a dungeon, but they're so broke that they can't buy food to go in, so they just eat the monsters that are in there. And it's super, super good. It is genuinely like, even if you don't like anime that much.
A cooking show?
Yeah, kind of. It's like very silly and funny where it's them hunting these monsters and then they explain how the monster works and how to cut it up.
Okay. That's like an interesting world building.
It's super. It is. Then they get actually into the world building itself, and it is fascinating. Like it is actually really well.
Cool. That sounds very interesting.
It is. It is on Netflix. I highly recommend it. It's Studio Trigger that did it, and they do just such good anime.
Lovely to have you here, Jaden.
See you, Jaden. It is actually
what time is it?
About 2 hours we've been going.
Oh,
it's 9 o'clock now, so
I haven't eaten anything today, so
yeah, you should eat.
It was a good time to get here.
This is good. Smooth, easy to get here, no issues.
We were not nearly late.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up, so I'm gonna do our little bit of promos at the end here. If you like what we do here, follow us on social media at UGT Show. We have shows coming out on Monday. Defy the Dragon will be back. I had to take a break yesterday because I had a massive migraine, so sorry for that.
Yes.
But we got that. We have a shop up with a new shirt in it that is actually Secrets Between the Stars related.
Yes.
I highly recommend it. Designed by humans. Is it UGT?
Logan? Have you seen that shirt?
Logan, you should go look at that shirt.
It's a good shirt.
It's a good shirt.
It's a good shirt.
If you want to join this anime discussion with me, please, I don't talk about it enough, join our Discord. It is full of people in there. We talk about a lot about Pathfinder and stuff. There it is. You saw it.
Is it not the best?
It's so good.
It's so good.
Join our Discord where we talk about Pathfinder and anime and Magic the Gathering and all that stuff. It's fun time in there. We're actually surprisingly very active. So I recommend it.
We try a lot. And honestly, most of the Pathfinder stuff that you would love to talk about is probably a little bit more knowledge based.
Yes, before
we
than us.
have connoisseurs in there of all of the knowledge ever.
Saying to recap really quick, we talked about Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, One Piece, Food Wars, One Punch Man, Trigun got mentioned for a second, Samurai X got mentioned for a second. We talked about a lot. So watch the VOD. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. I know saying that's annoying, but it helps with the algorithm a lot.
It does.
So appreciate it more if you do that. If you like the show, share it with your friends. Word of mouth is a great way to spread the word of what we do here. So we appreciate it. Yes. With that, Trigun mentioned the year of our Lord 2025. Trigun, the reboot, Trigun Stampede was great, and the new sequel series to that's the finale of it, comes out this year too. I'm very excited for that. With all that said, thank you for watching. I have to go hit the end button. So goodbye, everybody.
Yes, goodbye.